Hello and welcome back to the channel. Casual Smiley Gamer here. Today we're playing green-white Selesnya live game deck. The whole deck concept is not new. It's the same as it used to be in the standard format. We're going to go through the creature size, deck speed, deck flexibility, and the card synergy to realize whether the deck is actually worth playing. The main principle of the deck is to gain life, and then the life gaining triggers the abilities of all the creatures, normally in terms of gaining +1/+1 counters. You're calling out many small-sized creatures with a very cheap mana cost 2/3. Every time you gain life, each of these creatures will get 1/1 counters, and then you are going to eventually overwhelm the opponent with the number of creatures, which are going to grow in size every single turn. So, as you can see, the creature size of the deck, I did give it 3 stars. The reason for it, the starting point of the creatures, because they are so cheap, they are normally around 1/1 to 2, 3/3 at times. They are not the massive creatures, but they will grow every time as you gain life. As such, the creature size is above 2 stars, so somewhere in the middle, quite average. Same 3 stars applies to the deck flexibility. The deck has some removals, some abilities to gain life, some landfall, which will trigger additional creatures or an additional 1/1 counters to your creatures, or potentially a life gain. But overall, flexibility is quite limited. You do not have that many options of what you can do. The whole point of the deck is to try and speed up the opponent in terms of calling out the creatures, get as many of them on the battlefield as possible before opponent will be able to respond with anything. As it says, deck speed has 4 stars. Reason for it being the creatures are normally have 2 mana cost, sometimes 3 mana cost, but in reality, you'll be calling the creatures very, very fast. There will be enchantments that will be triggering the additional creatures on the battlefield. Every time you gain life, the creatures will appear. So overall, creatures are relatively cheap. As such, we will give deck speed 4 stars. And the card synergy is probably the selling point of this deck, as literally every creature that you're going to be calling, every enchantment you're going to be calling, they will be having an additional abilities that are triggered every time you gain life, and you will gain life every time you call in another creature or realistically put any card on the battlefield. So let's dive right in and see the deck and the details. As you can see, we have quite a lot of 1, 2, and 3 drops, with a very few minor 4 drops and 5 drops at the end. We'll start with the Cleric class. Enchantment, quite versatile, gives you an additional life every time you gain life from any source. For 4 mana on level 2, allows you to gain 1/1 counter every time you gain life. Please note that this can happen multiple times in a single turn, every single time you're gaining life. At a 5 life, you can revive the creature from the battlefield and gain enough life equals to the creature's toughness. Hallowed Priest gains an additional 1/1 counter every time you gain life. Luminarch Aspirant gives you 1/1 counter every turn. Devouring Tendrils, a good removal spell which gives you 2 life. Inscription of Abundance, very versatile, can give you life, can give you 1/1 counters, can act as a removal. If you cast it with the kicker on, you apply all 3. Prosperous Innkeeper gives you a treasure once you cast it, which is a very good mana ramp. Also gives you 1 life every single time a creature enters the battlefield. Ranger class calls into Wolf Token, gives you a 1/1 counter every time you attack, and also allows you to look at the top of the card of your library and cast it from the top of your library if you get it to the level 3. Trilisara gets 1/1 counter every time you gain life and allows you to scry 1. Celestian Unicorn gets 1/1 counter every time you gain life. Elite Spellbinder, very good flexibility to the deck, allows you to look at the opponent's hand. If you feel that you might want to remove that removal spell, very good for flexibility. Core Celebrant gives you 1 life every single time another creature enters the battlefield. Maul of the Skyclaves, a very good flexibility, gives your creature first strike and 2/2. Also gives them flying. Very flexible in terms that you do not have to pay the equip cost. The first time you call it, it's free to attach to the creature. Righteous Valkyrie allows you to gain life equal to the toughness of the creature that you call. If you have 27 life or more, every creature gets +2/+2. Felidar Retreat A very good landfall enchantment allows you to either call in 2/2 token every time land enters the battlefield, or gives a creature 1/1 counter, and they gain vigilance until the end of turn. Icing Death, a very good defense against the flying. It has flying, it has vigilance, and also turns into an artifact once it gets killed. The equipped creature will get +2/+0 and will allow you to tap a creature an opponent controls, which basically sort of gives them a menace. Alchemist allows you to get either 1 mana of any color or multiple amounts of mana of one single color equal to the amount of life you gain during the turn. Drizzt basically acts as 2 creatures. Whenever you call them, you additionally call in 4/1 trample legendary token cat. Whenever a creature with a 1/1 counter dies, if it had more 1/1 counters than the attack of the Drizzt, he will gain the same amount of 1/1 counters equal to the difference. Valkyrie, 4/5 flying lifelink. Every time you gain 4 life or more, you create a token angel. So as you can see, a lot of the life gain in this deck. It's basically, do not be scared to allow opponent to attack you. Whenever the opponent attacks you, do not defend if you can, because you'll gain all this life back. The whole idea for you is to try to call as many creatures as you can, as every single time you'll be gaining life, they'll be getting 1/1 counters. Eventually, if you have enough creatures on the battlefield, you'll overwhelm the opponent, and then you will destroy him. So enough about the deck, let's see how it competes on the actual battlegrounds.